Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Aimstone channel, and of course, as always, let's go ahead and start this video with Bitcoin market. As of the time of this recording, Bitcoin has made $42,000. However, while I'm making this video, Bitcoin has been fluctuating between 42 and 43,000 bucks. So keep in mind guys, by the time you watch this video, the price probably is going to vary. Hopefully it will vary for the better. Maybe by the time you watch this video, BTC will be about 43k. I hope this is going to be the case. Anyway, from tactical standpoint, Bitcoin establishes another support. Yes, this is positive momentum support, which is indeed quite nice. Yes, I do think BTC will bounce back from this support and continue going higher, and hopefully maybe in the next couple of weeks we're going to reach a new local high. Currently, the new local high is at $49,000. If BTC reaches 50k, that would be quite nice. Let's not forget that 50k might be happening sooner than later, because as we can see that 93 days left until the next Bitcoin having 93 days, that will be approximately 3 months. 3 months, it will take place in mid-April 2024. So yes guys, continue stacking sats and get ready for the upcoming Bitcoin halving. Yes, the Bitcoin spot ETF already happened, and yes, this is just the beginning. Those Bitcoin spot ETFs will accumulate Bitcoin over time. Okay, so where BTC is going to be after the next Bitcoin halving that will take place in April 2024? Well, this is a very good question. Historically, Bitcoin price always goes up after Bitcoin halving. For example, the first halving took place back in 2012, and since then BTC skyrocketed by 100x. The second Bitcoin halving took place in mid-2016, and in that bull run, BTC skyrocketed by 33x. Not bad. And the third and most memorable Bitcoin halving for me took place in May 2020, where Bitcoin was around 8,500 bucks and it ended up at $69,000. So technically BTC generated 8x, which is not bad, but indeed we can see diminished rate of return every bull market. So what we should anticipate this time around? Look, let's say that the Bitcoin price will remain constant until the next Bitcoin halving. Let's say it will be at around 40k. So even 5x would put BTC about $200,000 per single coin. Can 5x happen? Well, if history has any meaning, I think yes, 5x can definitely happen. Alright guys, moving on. Bitcoin Fear Greed Index. Today we are at 64. We are at greed relatively higher where we were back yesterday. Yesterday we were at neutral for the first time in 3 months and we were at 52. So why the hell today Bitcoin market sentiment is relatively higher than it was back yesterday, even though Bitcoin price are more or less the same. Yesterday BTC price has been fluctuating between 42 and 43k, and today yet again we are between 42 and 43k. So I don't know what has changed. Maybe, I don't know man, some anticipation into the future. Okay, we have another Bitcoin market sentiment, and that would be Bitcoin Google Trend. As we can see that when Bitcoin Spot ETF has been approved, Bitcoin Google Trend literally skyrocketed. It reached up to 45, and that would be new like 2 years high. However, right now we went back to 25 because BTC price declined after Bitcoin Spot ETF have been approved. But this is nothing to worry about. An all-time high was at 100 back in late 2021, where BTC price was at $69,000. So right now we are at 42k and we are at 25. So just imagine where BTC price will be when Bitcoin Google Trend will be at 100 once again. Oh man, I think it will be like 4 to 5x at least from this point. Alright, moving on. We have El Capo of crypto. This is his plan. He thinks that BTC will pop to about 50k and then drop to $40,000 and bottom at around $30,000. So as I said before, the $12,000 is the new $30,000. And the main reason why I'm saying this, because those of you who guys do not know, he was predicting $12,000, just like Gary Salway and whoever other bears out there. But yes, they definitely in pain right now. Moving on, in 2012, one Big Mac cost 1 BTC. In 2024, 1 BTC will buy you 8,000 Big Macs. Well, honestly, I'm not a big fan of Big Macs. I had maybe one Big Mac because I was forced to eat about a month ago, and the shit was disgusting. It's nasty. But the moral of the story is everything drops versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin is indeed appreciates versus everything else that you see with your eyes. Moving on, just in, Bitcoin crypto could significantly reduce US dollar dominance according to Morgan Stanley. Well, I am not surprised because the US making fools out of themselves, and the main reason why because they literally hyperinflating US dollar, and if this is the case, who the hell wants to buy US dollar if inflation is indeed very high? Nobody. So this is the reason why people choose Bitcoin over dollar. But yes, Bitcoin is definitely a right choice. Okay, guys, moving on. A Bitcoin ETF is trading products. You purchase it with fiat, you earn it with fiat. It is not Bitcoin, according to BitMax founder. Yes, 100%. If you maybe, let's say, a financial institution, if you're a hedge fund that maybe you cannot buy Bitcoin because of the regulation, then of course you have to buy Bitcoin spot ETF. But if you are an individual, you have no business of buying Bitcoin spot ETF. Just buy the real damn Bitcoin. Go to Coinbase, buy yourself a Bitcoin, put it in a hardware wallet, and everything will be fine. Moving on, having ETFs will push Bitcoin price about $170,000 according to Anthony Scaramucci. So 170k by the end of 2024, early 2025. Yeah, I can see that happening. I think 170k would actually be a bit bearish. Bullish case would be 500k, and the base case would be $250,000. BlackRock on a pace to become the largest Bitcoin hodler in the world. Is that so? Let's take a look. BlackRock has accumulated nearly 11,500 Bitcoin for its newly listed spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund as the Wall Street Titan rapidly built one of the largest stores of BTC in the world. Just days after first ever spot Bitcoin ETF were launched in the United States, BlackRock has accumulated a treasury for its product that reportedly rivals the world's largest public Bitcoin holders, surpassing Tesla's 9,000 Bitcoin to make it the third largest Bitcoin stash among public companies. Well, Tesla actually had roughly 40,000 BTC, but Elon Musk chickened out and he sold his $30,000 Bitcoin around $30,000. So he probably regrets doing that because right now Bitcoin is about 42k and he sold at $30,000. So good job, Elon Musk. At this point, BlackRock could soon have more Bitcoin than any other single entity on the earth. Reflecting on that possibility, senior Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Bulchanas noted that it will happen. Let's not forget about MicroStrategy that holds roughly 190,000 Bitcoin. So that would be almost 20 times more than BlackRock. 190,000 Bitcoin, that would be almost $8 billion, while 11,500 BTC would be, well, like 400 mil. So yes, guys, BlackRock still have some catching up to do, but I think it is going to happen indeed when more institutions will buy Bitcoin through Bitcoin Spot ETF. In fact, this is probably my favorite table of the day. It represents how much Bitcoin each Bitcoin Spot ETF have. For example, we have Bitwise. So prior to Bitcoin Spot ETF approval, that was January 10, they had only 57 Bitcoin. And after Bitcoin Spot ETF approval, they had more than 5,300 BTC, which is insane. They added 5,200 BTC to their treasury. BlackRock had 228 BTC prior to ETF approval, and after ETF approval, they had 2,621. So Bitwise actually did quite better. So on the flip side, we can see Grayscale prior to Bitcoin Spot ETF approval had 619,000 BTC, and after Bitcoin Spot ETF approval, they had 617,000 BTC. So 2,000 BTC left Grayscale. But even though 2,000 BTC left Grayscale, why BTC drop? Well, I'm not so sure because as we can see that the total accumulation for all Bitcoin Spot ETF approval was 25,000 Bitcoin. 25,000 Bitcoin would be more than $1 billion. Why Bitcoin price did not go up? Well, look at this table. I have no idea. Well, I don't know because Bitcoin price ETF have been priced in. However, 25,000 BTC added to their treasuries. So 25,000 BTC have been bought in the market. And yes, price should have been higher. Okay guys, let's change gear a bit, take a look at some interesting Bitcoin charts. This first chart represents BTC tradable market cap and hash rate proof of work value. As we can see that after each Bitcoin having this metric went up. That's exactly what happened 2012, 2016, 2020, and this is what about to happen in the next 3 months after the next Bitcoin halving. Yeah, excuse me guys. And lastly, here's another cool Bitcoin chart. It represents Hash Labs Bitcoin price prediction for 2024. As we can see, the bear case 75k, base case 100k, and bull case $125,000. Look, if Bitcoin would reach only 125k this cycle, I would be quite disappointed. Once again, I think base case is $250,000 and bull case is at $500,000. And the bear case probably like 180k, 200k, somewhere around there. So yes, we will see what is going to happen by the end of this year. And lastly, let's take a look at this quick video where VJ, an author of bullish case for Bitcoin and also engineer for Bitcoin, will explain what he thinks is going to happen to BTC next. Let's take a look.
Let's talk a little bit about what we're seeing in terms of price action, because immediate price action has been rather muted.
Yeah, I actually predicted this a week ago. I wrote on Twitter that I thought that the announcement was completely priced in. Everyone knew that it was going to happen. Everyone knew the exact date and the exact time. And the SEC approved it within an hour of when most experts expected that it would be approved. So this was priced in. However, what's not priced in is the flow of funds that will begin tomorrow. That cannot be priced in because those funds will need to go out and buy spot Bitcoin, buy physical Bitcoin and take that off exchanges. That flow of funds and the flow of funds that will happen over the next month and year is absolutely enormous. That cannot be priced in because everyone who's already in the market a lot of them are completely maxed out. There's a lot of true believers there and they don't have much excess capital to allocate to this. We will see the price begin to move tomorrow, and I believe will move significantly over the rest of this year.
10 to 20 years, it's inevitable that Bitcoin becomes a reserve asset, the Bitcoin standard.
I believe so, yes.
All right, and this is clearly a step in that direction, I would imagine.
It's an enormous step in that direction. It legitimizes Bitcoin for a lot of people, and it will mean that a lot more people will own Bitcoin as a form of savings. And I think the one thing that you can see amongst people who own Bitcoin and start getting interested in it is they go down this proverbial rabbit hole trying to understand why it's valuable and start thinking about it. And a lot of people start out with an allocation to Bitcoin of 1 or 2%, and then it becomes 5% and then 10%. And they allocate more and more, and it grows in value just on its own. And I know a lot of people who have, and I'm not recommending this, but I'm just saying I know a lot of people who have allocations to Bitcoin in the 50% to 100% range. And I think, when I was talking about the flow of funds, I was talking about people making a small allocation. It's entirely possible that people buy Bitcoin, they go down the rabbit hole and they start increasing their allocation. If that happens, then my price forecast is way, way too conservative.
All right, it's still a pretty big forecast, even on the conservative end, but thank you for that. I may now just have to push you for a more near-term price forecast then. Given you said that you were right, that you didn't expect a big major pop on the news.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really like giving a short-term price forecast. I do expect in the next 1 to 2 years, Bitcoin is going to get somewhere in the area of like 150 to 200,000. I think just the fact that there's going to be so much more demand coming from retail investors and institutions that previously just couldn't buy Bitcoin. There are a lot of institutions that were not able to buy Bitcoin because they couldn't buy it on a regulated market, and now they can own sort of direct physical Bitcoin through an ETF. I think that amount of demand could easily shoot Bitcoin up to 150,000 over the next year or so.
Yes, as VJ said that he predicted the BTC price would sell off after Bitcoin spot ETF approval, and that's exactly what happened. Bitcoin dumped by 16% in just a few days after Bitcoin spot ETF approval, and now it looks like it is slowly coming back up once again. But he thinks in the next 1 to 2 years, Bitcoin may end up about $170,000. So once again, guys, I think 170k it's quite bearish on my humble opinion. Let me know what you guys think, where Bitcoin will end up by the end of this year as well as 2025. Comment below, subscribe, and like this video.